Hey guys, welcome back to my Anime Heroes Customs. Just got back from working out of the city and luckily I finished this custom before I left. This week we have Meliodas in his base form. This will be a quick video since his build is very simple and straightforward. Hope you guys enjoy this. He'll be the 106th commission project. Join my Patreon if you want to see more builds and customs in the future. Names of patrons will be included at the end of every video as a thank you for their support on this channel. Check out link in description box below if you want to support my work. I thank you in advance and cheers! Let's start with our materials. I'm using a Figma archetype he that we call this the youth version, and we have headsculpt 3D printed head sculpts. If you've been following my channel for a little while, you know that I've already done a few other customs of Meliodas in different forms. So this one, we're using a smaller body now instead of the Figma archetype he next version. So this will be a little smaller and a little more accurate to the 1/12 scale. Then we have 3D printed head sculpts by my partner headsculpt. I apologize for the other head that was already painted because someone also ordered another Meliodas costume and I've switched up the expression on the faces. So I've already done this and it's already painted when I saw it. But don't worry, I'll show you guys that one also once I've finished taking photos of everything. headsculpt made my life easier by making the front hairpiece of the Meliodas head sculpts removable so that it's easier to access the face and it's easier to paint the face details. He also removed the fountain-like hairpiece on top of his head, so we will just add that later on top. And looking at the size and proportion of the head sculpt in regards to the body, this is perfect. So now what we can do is copy the other head sculpt pieces and paint it into the one that we've painted already. Let's go. For this build and all my future Meliodas build, I have commissioned headsculpt to make me a 3D printed dragon handle and lostvayne. So this is the result of the pieces coming out of the 3D printer. So I just have to remove them from the sprues and they look just like this. This is so that they are more anime accurate and it saves me time from sculpting and making these things proportional to the body. So we'll just clean this up and paint. While the other parts are drying in paint like the feet, I've painted them black. We can now start working on the clothing. First thing to do is to make some pants. So I made this white pants from this template over here and I used spandex cotton. Cut two pieces and sew the sides up together, and once we flip that over, we can now try it onto the body. I always make the clothing a little bit bigger on the body so that I can adjust accordingly as I go along and as I fit it to the body. So I just have to fix my measurements and fix my edges, and once I do that, it will look something like this. The pants are now secured onto the body. It now has its final measurements up to his shins and the edge on the waist is now clean. We can now move on to our next clothing, which is the white top, which looks something like this. I used this template on the right and I used the same spandex cotton white fabric. Cut two pieces, sew these edges together and flip it over, and we have something like this. Ta-da! Just a little fast forward so that we don't have to edit a long video. I've hemmed my edges and I've also made a collar piece, opened up a little bit of a v-neck. And the last part of the clothing that we need is this black vest. It starts out in a shape like this and I've cut two pieces and sewed it together, and we will make cuts like a big cut for the v-neck, and his end of the vest has two tails in front and one tail at the back. So we will cut those, hem those, and fit it to the body. Let's do it. Ta-da! It looks something like this. I just cut up slits and hemmed my edges so that it's clean and neat. So remember, there are two tails in front and one tail at the back for this base form of Meliodas. We need a lot more details to do, like his boots. I need black fabric to wrap around his ankles and his red necktie. Ta-da! Finally, our custom Meliodas is done. This was a very simple and straightforward build, so I just fast forward it so that you guys can just see the full figure right away. Painting the head was just straightforward. It was just matching the skin tone to the body and coloring the hair yellow and adding details to the faces. I've painted the feet or the boots black, and I've added these green details. Now let's look at the alternate head sculpts. My client requested for two different kinds of head sculpts. Unfortunately, I lost the fountain-like hair on top of the other head sculpt, but don't worry, I fixed it. I made my own, and my client requested for another angry, serious Meliodas face, so this one is the alternate one. And of course, like in all my figures, we need some accessories, and we have the lostvayne and the dragon handle fully painted, and they look amazing, and it was just the right call to have these 3D printed from Sheath. The Figma youth body came with interchangeable hands, so he can easily hold the dragon handle and the lostvayne, and the proportion and the scale of this looks really good with the head and with the size of the weapons. Switching it up with the lostvayne, there we go. I really loved how this came out. And for the last accessory that we made, we have the sheath that holds the dragon handle on his back. So I made this out of a straw and a round piece of object that I covered with cloth and used a synthetic leather and a belt buckle to form this, and added details, and I just rounded it up, but I made sure that the dragon handle can fit into the straw just like that, so that the base for Meliodas can hold his dragon handle from the front. That looks really good and badass. I am so happy how he came out. Switching it up one last time to have a look with the angry face and the lostvayne. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and let's jump straight to action poses. Thank you.